Hey, I'm glad you're back. All right, so the name of our book today is called Seed, Sprout, Pumpkin Pie. All right, so here's the title Seed, Sprout, Pumpkin Pie. All right, and this book, the author is Jill Esbum. And what does the author do? Do you remember? The author is the person who writes the book. Let's get started. Have you picked your pumpkin? A pumpkin seed is tucked into sun-warmed earth. When they say earth, they just mean the dirt or the soil. Spring rains soften its tough coat. A root reaches for nutrients, and a sprout reaches for light. Soon jagged leaves rise from twisty vines wandering in all directions. Okay, so here they're planting the seed in the dirt or the soil, and then the rain comes, and then you start to have a little sprout come up, and then you have roots that are growing deep down in the ground. And this is where they will get all their nutrients, everything that they need to grow. They'll get all of that through those roots, and it brings it all the way up to the plant. Well, then you start, after it starts growing longer, the vine, then you start having big, jagged leaves start growing from the vine. Bees visit golden blossoms, spreading pollen from flower to flower. Here and there, tiny green knobs replace wilted flowers. Okay, so here the flower will fall off, and in its place, you will have a tiny green pumpkin start to grow in its place. The knobs change color and slowly swell. That means they start to get bigger, growing heavier by the day. Cooler nights arrive and vines shrivel. Okay, so the pumpkin will start to change colors as it grows bigger. And left behind are pumpkins, pumpkins, pumpkins. So here you have a big pumpkin patch that has all different shapes and sizes of orange pumpkins. Pumpkins are a type of squash. Have any of you ever eaten squash? I know when we eat squash, we cut them up and we put it in butter or oil, and we grill it with onions, and we cook it down until it's mushy. That's the way we eat squash. How do you eat squash, or do you even eat squash? I know a lot of people don't eat squash. They can be green, red, tan, yellow, white, or even blue. The pumpkins we know best are bright orange. There are tall pumpkins and short pumpkins. So here you have two kids that are standing on pumpkins, and one of them is pretty tall and the other one is shorter. There are also smooth or bumpy pumpkins. So this pumpkin right here is pretty smooth. Well, if you look at that one down there, it has a lot of bumps on it. Wee ones only inches wide, or giants you can sit inside. Wow, so look at these right here. Those pumpkins are so big that men, grown men, are sitting in them in the water, and it's holding them up. That is a big pumpkin. Thump, thump, thump. A pumpkin sounds hollow, but inside it's stringy wet pulp and oodles of slippery white seeds. Seeds might be saved to grow next year's pumpkins or dried for a crunchy snack. Okay, so you can get the seeds from a pumpkin and you can plant them and grow more pumpkins, or You can dry them. I know a lot of people who put them in the oven and they'll cook them for a little while and you can eat them, kind of like sunflower seeds. Pumpkin pulp smells sharp and tangy, but can be made into delicious breads, desserts, and soups. Sugar pumpkins go into the spicy pies we bring to our Thanksgiving table. The end. Unless, was there something else pumpkins might be used for? Oh, yes, jack-o'-lanterns. Will you give yours a funny face or a creepy one to send shivers up your back? Will it be the head of a straw-filled scarecrow? So here they have carved all kinds of jack-o'-lanterns. Do you plan to carve a jack-o'-lantern for Halloween? If you do, what kind of face are you going to give it? Is it going to be scary or do you want it to be funny? Will your jack-o'-lantern decorate your kitchen table among striped gourds and sunset-colored leaves? Or will it set your porch aglow on a spooky Halloween night, lighting the way for a curious cat? Okay, so sometimes people put their pumpkins on their tables for decoration, or they'll put them outside and they'll put a little light, a little candle on the inside to where they glow at night. Unused pumpkins are fed to farm animals or left in the field to nourish the precious soil. So all the cut up pieces you can give to farm animals. Awaiting spring under a wintry blanket. The end. All right, so in this book, we went from planting the seed all the way to the sprout, and then the pumpkin grew, and then we talked about things we can make with the pumpkin, and one of those things is pie. I love pumpkin pie. All right, well, here in a little bit, we are going to go through the life cycle of a pumpkin, and we're going to start at the seed, and then we're going to go all the way around to the big orange pumpkin. All right, so come back here in a little bit, and we'll go through the life cycle of a pumpkin.